Hello and welcome to Uncharted Territories, the podcast where we dive headfirst into the issues that women typically shy away from menstruation to menopause, sexual health to domestic violence. We are here to explore the uncharted territories of women's experiences and spark up the conversations that need to be had. So my name is Liza, and of course I'm not alone. I'm with my beautiful co-host, Miss Precious Bantam.
Dumalang, beautiful people. I am Precious Bantam, and thank you so much for joining us as we indulge in beautiful conversations as well as uncomfortable ones. But uncomfortable conversations are always the ones that we learn a lot from.
True.
So I hope you guys do enjoy the show.
If you're a returning subscriber, welcome. And if you're new here, please do hit the subscribe button to be a part of the Slicer gang. So, today's topic, is a very tricky one for most of us who are in university. So we're speaking about relationships. And let's face it, relationships can be messy, complicated, and downright challenging at times, right? We can all agree to that. And while there are some topics that women are not comfortable discussing with their friends or partners, there are like some other topics that they tend to shy away from. And maybe it's because they're afraid of being judged, or misunderstood, or because they don't want to upset the status quo and stuff. And yeah, I guess we're gonna dive into communication and relationship, the issue of communication, the desire for equality, this whole 50-50 thing that I don't understand. And then finally we're gonna wrap it up with domestic violence. So are you ready?
I am ready. Let's bring it on.
Okay, so we know that many women value, open and honest communication in their relationships. They may prioritize discussing their feelings, needs, and boundaries with their partners in order to build like a strong relationship or a strong foundation of trust and respect. But I want to know from you, because you're the woman here, and
Okay.
this podcast is about women. Have you ever been in a relationship where communication was lacking? How did it affect the relationship, and how did you address it?
So yes, I've been in a relationship whereby the communication was lacking. We would fight over the silliest things that we would have communicated through.
Mm-hmm.
If maybe he would have a problem, he wouldn't tell me. He would probably just lash it out on me, and would find ourselves in useless arguments. Whereby if he had told me what the problem was and set me down and find a solution to a certain problem, then certain arguments wouldn't have started, or rather been in the out. So I think I've been in a relationship where the communication was taking and it's not really the best, because for me I think the best thing, or rather one of the foundations to a relationship, is communication.
Definitely.
I need to know how you feel about certain things. I need to know about your emotions. Tell me your emotions as my boyfriend, or as my husband, or as my significant other. I can't just assume that you're feeling a certain way. You need to tell me. Bring it up to the table.
Definitely.
Baby, la 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 la. Do you get it? Talk to me. And that way I think we're gonna have that mutual thing, and I'm also gonna know, okay, last time baby didn't appreciate this, so let me not do it
I shouldn't do it again.
Exactly. So communication is key.
I mean, we know why men tend to struggle with, communicating and stuff, because of their ego and what society says. Indota must not do this, Indota must not do that. But what do you think is the issue when it comes to women? Why are some women not really open to communication with their partner?
With women, it might be that probably growing up they've never had a stable place whereby they're free to open up. Maybe every time they had to voice up their opinion, they were being cut off, or they were being seen as not so important. So it could be one of the influencers influencing stuff, influencers. It might be one of the things influencing lack of communication in a woman. And then the other factor could be ego. Also, I think it does have.
Do women have ego?
Do women have ego? Do we have ego sometimes? Or pride? Should I say pride?
Well, it could be fear in some instances. maybe, I don't know, abuse has something to do with it.
It
Maybe they're afraid of
does.
speaking up and stuff like that.
Mm.
So what would you say, or do you think there are any effective strategies for initiating difficult conversations with a partner, such as like setting boundaries or expressing dissatisfaction, especially sexually? I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, how do you bring your partner to sit down and tell them, well, hey, you were lucky?
How do I do that? Or how would I do that? Okay, personally, I'm a very straightforward person.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him over text, baby, I need to talk to you. Sit him down over a cup of coffee, or
Okay.
like sit him down over a cup of coffee and actually bring it up to the table.
Mhm.
I'm straight like that. I'm gonna tell you, okay, so this is what's happening. I think I'll
And that's, and that's very important. I feel like we need more women or more people rather, who are able to do that. Because sometimes we don't want to bring up certain conversations.
Because we're scared that we're gonna embarrass them,
it's
or
gonna make them feel uncomfortable.
It's okay for you to feel uncomfortable if you're gonna be able to know the truth, rather than being uncomfortable. No, rather than being comfortable in lies.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah. And it's not gonna work out.
It's not gonna work out
It's
at
definitely
all.
not
It's gonna
gonna work
end. The
out.
relationship is gonna teka and it's gonna end.
True.
So don't want that. The best way to talk to your man is say it up in his face, but really and truly, don't be too harsh.
Yeah,
Don't
you shouldn't be. I mean, especially with the issue of
Sexual. Hey, that part.
because it can really hurt a
It
man's
can
ego.
bruise
Damn.
your ego. I mean, but then like, imagine your girlfriend comes at you and says like, "Baby ma, ish."
And I feel like there's no
Johnny
gentle way.
Hassan.
I feel like there's no easier way to break
To
it
say
down. I
it.
mean, but those are conversations that need to be had. They definitely need to be had. And so I guess we can move on to the second subtopic. If there's anything that you guys wanna, tell us about, like your opinions and stuff, you can put it down in the comment section. So this one is a very, very touchy topic that I feel like our generation just really struggles with. Because I think it was introduced by our generation. Yeah, the desire for equality, this thing of 50-50, it's really tricky. We know that women, often want their relationships to be based on mutual respect and shared responsibility, and they may reject like traditional gender roles and expect their partner to contribute equally to the relationship, like in terms of emotional support, household chores, financial resources. But what do you think about this thing of going 50-50?
A relationship for me it's a 50-50 thing. A relationship for me, you bring in your part, I also bring in my part, and together we form this union. You're not alone in this union. You're not the one who's supposed to bring 90% and I bring just 10%. Goes with all parts, basically. Emotionally, I come in emotionally with my pieces. You also come in with your pieces emotionally. Same way with like chores. You do that. Maybe the washing, the laundry, the normal chores. You do that. I also play my part.
True.
It's not my duty to do the chores all the time, or rather be your slave all the time. No, I'm serious. It has to be. It's not a specific gender role. It's not. I also deserve to do certain things. I have a life as well. I can't.
True.
Like I said, chozically, emotionally wise, and financially.
Financially, obviously, the man has to like provide. That is the role of a man, I believe, to protect and provide.
Protect and provide.
Yeah.
So what happens? Here's an example. What happens if the man provides, protects everything, and then one moment the man becomes disabled and isn't able to do that? What now? Who's gonna be who's gonna have to take care of the family? I am.
That's true.
It's true.
Especially if you guys are married.
Exactly. So my point is, it's not always a man's duty to always be providing financially. I can provide financially too if I can do it.
I understand what you're saying, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I don't want people to nullify this idea that a man has to be the one who provides and then the woman does the chores by
Mm-hmm.
Like we shouldn't look at it from a slave's perspective, if I should say. It's okay if I help you in some
Help me
instances,
out,
you know,
yes.
but I don't want that to be. I don't know. I don't want it to be this idea that okay, we're going 50-50.
It's a must.
Yeah, and stuff. I mean, if I see you as my wife, which you're struggling, like things are hard at work, you know, I can take off the babies, I can do the chores, stuff like that. But then that idea that the man is the man and the woman is the woman must be kept in tape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because I think the whole idea of women having to do the chores and it comes with the whole situation of women being there to nurture. Because as women, we're here to nurture.
True.
You give me a family, and I bring you a home. I create a home. I bring it to warmth. I make it a home. But you should also help me in building that beautiful home.
Yeah.
It's not just my duty. As much as Lorna, you have to provide, I also need to help you in certain ways. It doesn't mean you're less of a man if I do the work at some point.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me less of a woman if you help me out with certain things.
True.
So I think that's what. So I'm going to must.
Indota must provide. Indota must do this. Indota must do that.
Right. I mean, there's an example. Yahweh. We both went to the same school. You were in grade 1. I was also in grade 1. We finished our matric. The same route. We took the same route. But as a man, someone is expected to bring to the table more than someone else did. Yet we are the same age.
Yeah. We went through the same stuff.
Yeah, but now I have to make it make sense.
Also, things changing, like things constantly evolving, like women now working, now there's so many things. Like I feel like it also contributes to this thing.
Yes, it does.
But my main thing is that I just don't want confusion to come into this thing.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, a man must do this. I mean, like a man and a woman are. I don't want to get people upset.
So what are you actually saying? Are you saying that what's your take actually on this whole conversation? Are you saying that in a relationship it's supposed to be 50-50? The woman should help the man should help the woman?
I mean,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
are you
both of
supporting
them.
what I'm saying?
Both of them should contribute to the relationship.
Yes.
Both of them should do whatever they have to do to make the relationship work. But I just want people to understand that, and I don't want to get you guys upset that like that idea that men and women are just not equal.
They're
I should
not.
say that. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're not.
At the end of the day, even if I help you with chores, but I must still have leso stima, so
Yes,
I'm the
need
man in
order.
the house. Exactly, you know?
Yes,
So
yes.
when most people say we must go 50-50, they are nullifying the idea that like a man is the man in the house. They just want to make them equals. So-
And truth is, we are different species.
Exactly.
We are different. The powers that you have, I cannot have. So I can't expect to be equal with you.
I mean, you can't wake up at night and chase off the burglars.
I can't do that.
I can't take care of my babies the same way you do.
I can't nurture them. You can't nurture them the same way. So there's really that unequalness.
You know, so
But
yeah,
at some point we need to.
I can help you out because
You can
you know
help me
I
out.
love you, you're my wife. I must
Yes.
help you out in some instances with the babies, with the chores.
But the truth is, you can't do you can't do what is naturally supposed to be done by me full time.
Exactly.
As much as we want our men to help us with that, trust me, a man cannot do a woman's job as a woman can do it.
True.
So that is why we have different body parts. That is why we are shaped the way we are shaped. That's why we're shaped differently. So, yeah.
Because people are just really trying to take out the man in the family and just
So-
trying to.
I have a question. I'm sure
Sure.
it's a question that people normally ask like all the time. So, you asked me on a date. You asked me on a date.
Oh.
You initialized the
I know where
date.
this is going.
And then we get to the
Mm.
whole situation. Who's supposed to pay for the bill?
I mean,
Or let's say we both initiated the date. To say that, okay, let's both go out. Let's dress well, go to this fancy restaurant.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
who's supposed to pay?
I mean, for me, I think it depends with people. But for me, I would prefer paying. I don't think I don't think it's polite to expect the woman to pay on the first date. No,
Why is it not polite?
no, but like,
We both initiated this whole thing. We said it's a 50-50 thing. We're both emotionally intact
I feel like
within this
it's-
whole thing. So why should it only
I feel like
be?
it's that thing. It's that ego in men that, you know what, I
We're
have
going
to
back
be the
again to the ego part. The part
But it's always gonna be there. Like, I have to be the one, you know, who takes care of this
Of the
girl.
woman.
Exactly. So now if you're paying, like, no. That's
then
not
you
a
find
fix.
other guys who just be like,
Hey, bayan.
You, like-
No, but like this steamer, about a
It's
steamer.
steamer.
Like, come on. You can't expect a woman to pay on the
to
first
pay on the
date.
first date.
Come
What
on.
about this Masako as a
Come
man?
on now.
Ah,
I'm
no,
more than that. I mean,
John.
it's not. It's not that the woman or the female is there
It's
for
incapable.
the money.
Mm.
No, but you're just being polite. You're just being a
Right.
gentleman.
And it's
you know?
so sexy for me to just be sitting there and then you take out your money.
Yeah. Or
I'm
you
just there, like
just
yeah.
tap.
My ends up like now me later.
I feel like you're just being a gentleman. You're just
Yeah.
showing her that you can take care of her.
Yeah, you can.
If I feel like if you don't want to pay on the first date, what's gonna happen in future?
Yeah. What's gonna happen?
You're gonna expect the woman to buy the nappies to buy red flag.
Red.
Woman, please. If a guy does not want to pay on the first date,
Stand up and
leave.
cut them off.
Number one red flag.
What?
It's not that you're there for the money, but just
But-
run away.
Yeah.
Run. But yeah, I feel like people should stop trying to make man and woman equal.
Equal.
Yeah. The woman should not be the slave in the relationship, having to cook, always do all this stuff.
Mm.
But at the same time, that thing must be there, man. This is a man, this is a woman, and we have different jobs. We can't do them the same way
Right.
and stuff like that.
Should be known.
Yeah. Please, if you have if you disagree with us, you can just
Comment.
exactly.
Tell us what you think.
Ooh. And so now our third and final topic, or subtopic rather, it's domestic violence. Oh.
Hey.
And I feel like it happens in varsity, but we don't really talk about it. You know? Because women may experience physical, emotional, or sexual abuse from their partners, but they may be hesitant to seek help due to fear, shame, or financial dependence as well. The financial
Hey.
dependence part is
Hey.
really.
Is where the danger is.
Ciao. So, yeah, what do you think are some common signs of domestic violence, and how can women recognize and respond to these signs?
Hmm.
I think the classic one, I don't know. This whole thing of having a blue eye and then saying, oh, the door hit me.
I think also, so now are we talking, now I'm thinking psychology, gosh.
Yeah.
Are we talking, like the physical stuff that show on someone's, like,
Emotional as well.
how are we gonna see or go to this person is emotionally abused? Is that what you would?
Yeah, I guess you can answer it that way as well. Both physical and emotional. Okay, yeah.
Physically, I think you can definitely show with
Yeah, the
the
bruises and
bruises,
stuff. Yeah.
trying to hide it with like extreme makeup. Definitely gonna see that.
Mm.
Also like wearing like a long clothes. Motho o bana ho tjhesa ka ntle mara a apere jacket.
Something is
It's calling it off.
Exactly.
But maybe they're hiding their bruises and stuff, and then emotional. Someone who's very active, someone who has a very extreme and outgoing personality. Once they start being withdrawn and no longer being the kind of people that we're used to,
Yeah.
I think that there's a certain red flag.
Mm.
Because why all of a sudden Usma Paseka Asasa why is it no longer
Yeah.
a vibe?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Mm.
And
I think people pleasing as well. Because you might find that the person is being gaslit, like in the relationship all the time. And what do you think? Why do you think women stay in these abusive relationships?
I think their past experiences that could be the contributing factor to say that me and this guy knows so much about me. You know, we've been through a lot. He knows deeper scars about me that I'm not yet open to being open with someone else. You know, that whole history, that timeline together. I think it becomes a bit difficult for people to just move on and just forget about the memories they've made, forget about the parts that they've shared together. It becomes kind of like difficult. You know, their past. The financial independence as well. Me being dependent to a certain man financially, I'm used to a certain lifestyle.
True.
He has made me used to that certain lifestyle. So now how am I going to start living a different lifestyle?
Yeah.
That on its own, the thought of it, you know. So it's one of the contributing factors, and yeah. And then another one, I had it in mind.
Remember it.
I had it.
Was it gone? It's gone.
Should I say the opening up? The fear of opening up.
Yeah.
The fear of the fear of opening up. The fear of
being
experiencing someone new. You know.
Because it does have. I feel like if women are abused in a relationship, it does affect their ability to move into the next relationship or maintain it, because they come with the same
mentality.
Yeah.
Told me is like, you know.
That's a tough one. Do you think there's enough awareness being raised for this thing?
In South Africa specifically.
Yeah, in South Africa.
The only time where awareness is being raised on its longest or highest peak is when there's a certain GBV case.
Or someone died.
That's the only time. That's the only time you're going to see campaigns. That's the only time you're going to see people, women specifically, marching. That's the only time you're going to see a lot of action. But otherwise, for as long as those things are not happening, there are no campaigns. There are no... Even our sorry for that.
Yeah.
Even our own women abuse each other.
True.
Even our own women literally gaslight each other. Our own women hate each other. Women hate each other, and I'm not gonna lie to you.
That is true. I've experienced that a lot. I've seen it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, women talk about others' insecurities like it's nothing. Like, how you know that this is a certain insecurity that I have, but you're gonna bring it up. I told you about this. You know it hurts me.
I trusted you.
I trusted you and confided in you with this deep thing. And then you're going to use it against me. How? What level of evilness is that?
Yeah, that's another level, Shem.
Yeah, it's another level. It's another label.
No, I wanted to say that I feel like we allow this. We allow men to have this mentality, women are just sexual objects. Because you find people saying, you know, I know that we're in this modern world where things happen in whatever way they want to happen. But when we see a guy or a group of guys looking at a girl's ass as she's passing by, we tend to normalize it and say, boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. And that's where it all starts.
Because now those guys are gonna grow up with this mentality of it's okay
to look at a woman's body a certain way. It's okay to touch a woman that way.
Exactly.
And I think some females allow it because when a man touches you inappropriately and you feel uncomfortable, other women don't talk. They don't say it. No, but told me I don't like what you're doing.
Yeah.
They don't say it.
Definitely.
Right? And that's where the problem is. You need to let people know how you feel about certain things in order for them to know. So I think if men were taught better to say that you can't treat a woman that way.
And she is not your sexual object.
She's not your sexual object.
Because most men just have this mentality, you know what, sex is just about me getting. It's just me. And I feel like if we would just break that, everything would be okay.
So what do you think sex like supposed to like? Go ahead. Is it
Sex is from I'm a biblical person. I'm a Christian, you know that. So I feel like sex is not about you getting. I feel like if you view sex like that, then you don't love your woman. You're just lusting over her. Because lust is just about getting, you know.
getting.
But if you love her, you want to please her, you know. In the same way, she'd want to please you. So, you know. I mean, I'm so okay. I'm not gonna share. I'm like I've never had sex before, and I would confess that then I had that mentality that you know what, sex is just about getting, just me getting pleasure. But as I watched like certain podcasts, certain Christian podcasts, I saw okay, sex is not about just getting, but about giving, you know, pleasing a woman, you know, it's stuff like that. It must be love, not lust. So most men in today's world are just lusting.
Do you think
over girls?
Loveless sex is just lust? Because you're just having sex with someone and you don't even love them, or
you're not thinking about pleasing them. You're thinking about what you can get. Especially with men, they're thinking about okay, you know what, I just wanna, you know, release.
They just wanna release.
Yes, and then because you find them, you know, banging out cherry, you know, before the sex, and then after the sex, it's like, get away from me, you know. So.
Yep.
So we allow this thing, yeah. At least I gave you something to think about.
You gave me something to think about. Because now I'm going to see the red flags.
Definitely.
To say that, oh, so when a guy acts like this, he's probably just hungry. It's not really love.
Yeah. Especially when his eyes are red now. He just...
Right?
It must be about pleasing the woman.
Pleasing. Like, please me right now.
You know, so we just, people and like even parents at home should really stop saying boys will be. You know that this phrase boys will be boys. It's the kind of phrase that produces abusive men, that produces men with this mentality of girls are just sex objects for us. No.
And girls are not sex objects.
No, they are much more than that. So much more than that. Yeah, so we've explored some of the most taboo issues. Okay, they're not that taboo, but you know. Yeah, but you know.
One day we'll go deeper.
Definitely. And there's still a lot more that's gonna come. I'm not sure if we're gonna speak about sexuality because that's a different topic, but like there's just so much more. And what do I want to say? Oh, I'm forgetting.